Hi, everyone. This is Ronda and we are doing Testimonial Tuesday. If you would like to be a guest on Testimonial Tuesday, please reach out to me and let me know. I'd love to hear your favorite Reiki story. And I have a guest here today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then I'm going to let her share her favorite Reiki story that she has.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angela Sheeler, and I'm a Reiki master and teacher in a few different modalities. So I have an amazing story to tell you. It's actually in regards to myself. I was really sick after having my daughter, and she was born March of 2018. And I went through a bout of sickness for like a year and 4 months where I was in and out of the hospital. I couldn't eat anything. I lost a ton of weight. I had to wear a Dexcom machine for sugars that were rapidly dropping, and was really just very, very sick. Felt like I was almost like dying sick. And I had went for a class, which was originally supposed to be raindrop technique training. And during our exchange for raindrop, there was a lady there who did Reiki. And she asked me, do I have permission to do some Reiki on you? And I was like, I'd heard of Reiki, but I really wasn't really sure, but I was like, sure, and so she started to, she basically had placed her hands on my feet, and she had told me that I was blocked. She told me that, she had asked me, will you let me see, because I didn't want to open up at all. And so finally I did. I kind of opened up, and she had told me at the time that she believed that I had an attachment. So and she told me, if I didn't want to, that I was able to release that, which, of course, I didn't want to have the attachment. So, I made a statement, and I felt suddenly like something lifted off of me. And then I felt like somebody took a marker or a pen and drew an exact circle underneath my left side underneath my sternum on the left side. And the circle was so precise. And I started to feel uncomfortable, and I started to kind of move around. And I was really I felt kind of scared. And there was a coldness coming out from between my legs. That's the only way to describe it. But it was warm in that circle. And one of my now Reiki masters told me, just breathe. And so I was trying to breathe, and she's like, no, you need to breathe from your stomach, which I never had heard of breathing from your stomach. But I did. And she told me, she said, if you have anything you want to say, if there's any words that come to mind, just say those words. And I said, well, I know this seems crazy, but I feel like saying the word sick, And so I repeated the word multiple times. And at the time, she had told me, she says, now say healthy, 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 she was trying to she wasn't giving me the words, but she was kind of like guiding me in the direction to process, my my throat chakra, that was blocked. And so I said, healthy, healthy, healthy. And immediately that circle, it got very warm and it started bubbling. And it like just kind of subsided. And that was pretty much like the huge intensity of it. But what happened after was even crazier, because I went home and I thought, man, I just feel so good. And in my mind, I thought, it only lasts for till tomorrow and I'll be sick again. But the days went by and they went by and they went by. And I finally realized that I was healthy and that this disease that I had was gone completely. And I don't know what that disease was, but I can eat now. I don't ever have to wear a sugar machine again. I don't see doctors. I am now afterwards. And I felt more spiritually connected than I ever felt in years. I felt like more motivated, and I was able to work out my deep rooted issues from my childhood that I never actually was able to process as from being a child. And there's just been so much healing, and I'm just so forever grateful for this experience. And so I wanted to share that gift with others. And so at that point, I decided to take the Reiki courses. And so I'm a master in Reiki Ho. I'm a master Holy Fire 3. And I'm also master in a modality that's called Karuna Ki, master teacher. So in all the modalities. And I just absolutely love Reiki. It's just a gift. I want to share that healing with others. I believe anybody can heal their self. And it's just, I'm very humbled and grateful. And I wanted to share my story because with my past, and one more thing with my past, because as a child, I was sexually abused at a daycare. And I lived my life thinking that I had been a naughty, naughty girl. And I self-sabotaged for a long time. And I ended up getting in a lot of trouble throughout my teenage and young adult years, with mainly, stealing and things like that. And so I was in and out of jail and lived in a lot of abusive relationships. And so I guess what I'm, and so I thought at the point, I always wanted to be a teacher. That was my childhood dream. And I never realized that Reiki had a plan for me, and it was to be a teacher. And I've healed from those past traumas. I've learned to use those things for the good. And I'm just so grateful. So I guess that's my story.
I'm curious if you were able to ever figure out when you picked up the attachment. Was anybody ever able to, or did you ever figure that out?
I believe that, I thought maybe it was from, the childhood, from when I was sexually abused as a child, because initially when I did get the Reiki, I did feel like something was coming out from in between my legs. But it's hard to say because of the lifestyle that I lived for so long, where I picked it up. But I definitely know once that attachment was released, I realized that the thoughts that I had in my head, those were not my own thoughts.
Right. Yes.
Which I thought were actually me thinking, oh, this is my thoughts. But once it was gone. So, but throughout my Reiki training, I have released more than one attachment, because if I don't know, yeah, I did share that. In the beginning, I only opened up a portion of myself to that instructor at the time. And so at the time, that was all I wanted to heal. But as time went on, the layers were peeled back. And I know I released more attachments. I do believe a lot of the attachments were thought forms, like I was thinking things and bringing them towards me. But I do believe maybe it could have also been, and I think also from the abuse as, a child, but then also I do believe that I picked up something maybe from a relative or a past person, somebody that I knew that passed away, that felt that they, owed me to help me. Maybe they saw that I was sick and wanted to attach to the area to try to help, possibly. Not really sure, because, my instructor never really shared much about that. And she was real vague, but she did mention that did I have somebody that passed away recently? So I don't know if that was the attachment. That has always kind of crossed my mind.
I think not only that, I think what happened, because cord cutting and removing an attachment is two separate things, but they're both very positive things. And I think that you probably did a combination of both of those. And I think that it is amazing the difference when you release things that are not meant for you. And
yes,
it is a life-changing experience. So I'm so happy that you were able to take all those negatives and turn them into a positive thing, because that's always like a goal for me to try to do with situations, is to take a negative and turn it into a positive. So you're very inspiring. It was an amazing story. I'm very grateful that you shared it, because I love for people to understand people, because I don't want people to think like, oh, like I hurt my arm and that's all Reiki's for, is because I hurt my arm. Or I don't want them to think that it's like stuck into like this little, like, category, because Reiki can help people on such a huge scale. And I just hope that today that we spread a lot of awareness about how the range and the magnitude of how Reiki can impact on somebody's life, and the ability to truly help with anything that you have going on in your life. So I'm grateful that you shared your story, because I think that helps broaden that range of how amazing and how significant it can make a huge impact for someone.
Yes. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Did you have any more Reiki stories that you wanted to share?
I mean, I've just seen just so much healing from people. I do Reiki. I offer Reiki. I'm also a massage therapist, and I do raindrop technique. So I'm, and I use a lot of essential oils during my Reiki sessions as well. So, yeah, I mean, I've just seen so many people just have positive experiences. I've never heard any, negative stories. It's just, I feel one thing I've learned is that, when you have a person that comes for a Reiki session, that person has to be willing to work out those issues. They have to come in and put in the work. And I've learned that. My instructors have all shared that with me. And you can't make people heal. You can kind of lead them in that direction or try to guide them, but they have to put in the work. So.
I agree. I know when I deal with people and attachments, and they the most important part that helped you was the ability to be able to say, yes, I want to release this attachment, because if they're not ready, the Reiki isn't going to benefit them to the maximum potential if they can't release that. So I agree that they have to be able to be a willing, open participant in the situation, but it can be life-changing when they do.
Right. And for me, in that experience, I personally prayed out loud to Jesus, God, Holy Spirit to release the attachment. But anybody can use their higher power or source in that matter. But for me, that's who I prayed out loud to.
Right. I actually really love raindrop. So I'm not sure if anybody is aware of what that is. So can you tell everybody a little bit about raindrop, just in case they're like, what is she talking about? Because I'm not sure everybody's
aware. Sure. It is a type of healing modality that uses Young Living essential oils, and Gary, I'm having like a brain freeze right now. He started the raindrop technique, and it's you apply the essential oils in a particular type of way on the spine to help detox the body of certain chemicals or toxins, bacteria and viruses, to help with spinal alignment. But it's also a type of spiritual healing. It's also a type of spiritual healing and emotional release, where people, you can hold emotions in your body, such as anger likes to hide out in the liver, fear in the kidneys. So the oils help to bring out those emotions to the surface, and helps to release those emotions and move forward. So it's it can be very healing as well.
It's immune boosting as well, isn't it?
Yes. Afterwards, in my experience, everybody's body is different, but for me, I always feel very tired and thirsty afterwards, but that's because, my body needs that sleep. It needs to rest and heal. And it is very immune boosting because a lot of strep and bacteria and viruses like to hide out in the spine. For example, like the chicken pox, it hides out as and then it comes out into the peripheral nerve, and it's, you know, turns into shingles, you know, when something triggers it, when your immune, you know, system is weaker. And so strep, a lot of times, you know, people might get on antibiotic and, you know, but not all of it will go away, and it will just kind of hang out there in the spine. And I've actually had clients, my niece, for example, I used some oils on her spine, and those oils, it was frankincense and myrrh, and it pulled out strep out of her spine. And actually the doctor confirmed it, because my sister took the baby to the doctor, and they said it was strep that was pulled out of her spine. So, and I've seen a lot of that where, yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you for being a guest on my show. If anybody else would like to be a guest, again, please reach out to me. Testimonial Tuesday, I'd love to do every Tuesday and have somebody be able to share their Reiki stories with everybody, so everybody can understand how amazing Reiki is, and how we, even though it benefits us and it benefits other people, that we're just a vessel for the Reiki energy, and it just is truly amazing stuff. So Angela, again, thank you so much for being on the show, and I hope everybody has a blessed day. Did you have anything you'd like to say?
I've heard people say, like, I found Reiki, but I have to say Reiki found me. So.
That's great. Well, thank you again for sharing your story. It's truly inspiring, and I hope everybody has a blessed day.